Hello everyone! So I picked out 10 books that I want to finish by the end of this year. Most of these books I've wanted to read for a while now, but I just can't remember to put on my TBR. So let's get started. The first book is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So this takes place in the year 2575 where two mega corporations are at war over this planet, even though this planet is still being lived on. So Katie and Ezra, who recently broke up, have to fight their way onto an evacuating fleet. So what makes me really want to read this book is that it's told through hacked documents like emails, schematics, military files, medical records, and interviews. I've heard great things about this book, so I'm excited to read it. The second book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. So Kel is the only one who can travel between worlds. There's a red London, a gray London, and a white London. So his job is to pass messages on to each London, and unofficially he takes goods from each world and gives it to other people, since those people will never get to see the other London. But something goes wrong and he has to flee his London, and on the way he meets Delilah, who saves his life. So I'm really excited to read about all the different worlds, and I've heard great things about this. Some of my friends love this book. So the third book is Nerds Do Well by Simon Pegg. I've had this book for years. I was so excited when it first came out. I went out right away and bought it, but then I never read it. It is an autobiography about the actor Simon Pegg. I'm a big fan of Simon Pegg's, and so I want to know more about him. The fourth book is The Girl in the Spider Web by David Lagerkrantz. I'm sorry if I butcher the name or any other author's name. So this is the fourth book in the Millennium series written by Stieg Larsson. This is a continuation about the girl with the jagged tattoo, and so I'm really excited about this book. The Millennium series is one of my favorites. I've heard mixed reviews about it, since they feel like it's not the same since it's written by a different author, but I'm going in hopeful, but I have high hopes since it is one of my favorites. The fifth book I want to read is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. So this takes place 2 years after Eva's son has killed 7 of his fellow high school students, a cafeteria worker, and a teacher. So this is told through letters she writes to her strange husband, and it's just about her coming to terms with everything and wondering if she was responsible for her son's criminal acts. It just sounds so sad and haunting, and I'm excited to read it. The sixth book I want to read is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. It is a science fiction humor book. It is about Arthur Dent, who is plucked from Earth seconds before it is destroyed by his best friend, who he thought was an out-of-work actor. I mean, it just sounds so funny, and I know I will love it. I mean, it has a chronically depressed robot, so I'm excited to read this. The seventh book I want to read is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I've read a lot of books by Neil Gaiman, and I've enjoyed them. I just love reading about the worlds and characters he creates. So this is a fantasy novel about Richard Mayhew, who stops to help a girl who is bleeding on the sidewalk in London, and this act propels him into a world that he never knew existed, a city of monsters and saints, murders and angels. I mean, this description just sounds so awesome. So the eighth book I want to read is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. So this is set in the year 2044, where the world is destitute and most people escape into the world of Oasis. Oasis is created by James Halliday, and he created Easter eggs within the game, and upon his death, the person who discovers all the Easter eggs will win his entire fortune. So Wade Watts is a teenager there, and he's the first one who finds a clue about the Easter eggs, and he finds out that the players around him will do anything to win the ultimate prize. So I love video games, and so this just seems right up my alley, and I just want to learn about the world Oasis. It sounds so awesome. The ninth book I want to read is American Psycho by Brent Easton Ellis. So this is a book about Patrick Bateman, who is working on Wall Street and just seems like the perfect guy. He's charming and handsome, but he's a psychopath, It is a black comedy, and I don't know why I haven't read this book before. Bret Easton Ellis is one of my favorite authors. American Psycho is one of my favorite movies. I've even seen American Psycho the musical on Broadway, and so I have no idea why it's taking me so long to read this book. So the last book I want to read by the end of this year is Requiem for a Dream by Hubert Selby Jr. This book takes place in Brooklyn, where a lonely widow wants to lose weight and go on a TV game show. So she becomes addicted to diet pills, while her son, his girlfriend, and best friend want to devise a plan to get rich, and so they get a pound of heroin. So their obsession with their dreams kind of makes the world around them deteriorate, and they get addicted to drugs, and so they don't realize that the world they created around them is their nightmare. This just sounds eerie and sad, and I'm interested to read it. So those are the 10 books I want to read by the end of this year. Like and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Bye!